Good evening and welcome to News Review. The Governor, Sir James Dutton, believes that Britain's support for Gibraltar is stronger than ever, as demonstrated by the personal message by the Prime Minister on National Day. Delivering his Christmas message on behalf of the Queen, Sir James described 2013 as a challenging year because of waters incursions and problems at the border. The new Governor delivered his first Christmas message since arriving on the Rock at the beginning of the month. He reflected on his arrival in Gibraltar and the close historic ties with the Royal Marines, whom he served during his active years. Sir James also described 2013 as a year of celebration, with Gibraltar having joined UEFA and hosting a number of major sporting and cultural events. Sir James also paid tribute to those in the armed forces who are stationed overseas during Christmas, as well as those who would be working during the festive season. The newly instituted nature wardens will be able to issue on-the-spot fines for up to £500 for anyone seen feeding Barbary macaques. This follows a new bill to amend the Animals and Birds Act published last week. The fines could rise up to £4,000 if an offence goes through the magistrate's court. Jonathan Sacramento caught up with Environment Minister John Cortes and asked him about the new bill, which will go through Parliament in the new year.
Well, one of the key elements is that there will be fixed penalty fines, which means that they can be issued on the spot, which makes a difference to the old system in which it was the magistrate's court system with a maximum fine of £4,000, and clearly there weren't a lot that were being implemented. This will allow not just police officers but also environmental health officers and members of the Department of the Environment to monitor situations and to issue these fines, which we hope will be a deterrent. It's not that we want to fine people, we want to get the message across that feeding monkeys, particularly in urban areas, is leading to a lot of problems that we want to stop. And therefore this gives us a new tool in the arsenal, if you like, of controlling the monkey population.
So these wildlife wardens that you've empowered, are these current officers that you've given extra responsibilities to, or are they new members of staff that have been taken on altogether?
We now have a small unit of environmental protection officers whose main tasks are these issues of enforcement, and that's new over the last couple of months.
Are these uniformed officers?
Well, they won't be uniformed in the sense of police uniforms, but they will be identifiable, and they will be clearly. It will be clear that they have these roles of wardening and wildlife law enforcement.
The Income Tax Act has been amended, with royalties income no longer exempt from tax. The Chief Minister detailed the amendment in Parliament, informing MPs that the bill has already been put to the European Commission's fiscal team in Brussels, who were reportedly content with the amendment. Fabian Picardo said this cannot be the formal position of the Commission at this stage, and their informal endorsement is as much as can be expected for now. Taken with the amendment earlier this year, Mr. Picardo says his government has now addressed the two concerns expressed by the Commission when it decided to formally investigate Gibraltar's Income Tax Act. The Chief Minister said the changes bring much-needed certainty to the financial industry, while pointing out that the government doesn't believe either exemption constituted state aid. Now, following very persistent rain and winds that reached storm force at their peak, Christmas Day saw several floods across Gibraltar. With 60 millilitres of rainfall overnight on Christmas Eve, several roads had to be closed, including Europa Advance Road, part of Queensway and Rozier Road. The strong winds and rain caused a rockfall at Camp Bay, which also had to be closed off. The Met Office issued a flash weather warning, with the City Fire Brigade going on to attend around 30 call-outs over the Christmas period. Arrangements were in place to send a container of emergency aid to the Philippines from Gibraltar by sea after the Spanish customs said they could not issue certificates for importing food across the border. The container was full of food, blankets, vitamins and drinking water, and it was due to be shipped from Algeciras to the Red Cross in Manila, but it was not allowed across the border into Spain.
Spanish customs said the aid shipment was blocked because they can't issue the necessary certificates for importing food. The The nearest Spanish health inspectors are based in Algeciras, and as such, no food is allowed to be imported into La Linea from Gibraltar. The delay is being criticised as being politically motivated, but GBC understands exceptions to this rule are very seldom made. The containers now due to be collected from Gibraltar directly later this week, at greater expense to the Morocco Atlas team, which organised the relief shipment.
We started helping them out just by producing them, giving them some clothing which we ourselves collect from one year to another for our solidarity rides in Morocco.
Okay. So you've gone about collecting clothes, and there's also some food substances in there.
Yes, we managed to collect quite a lot of clothing thanks to the people of Gibraltar, and some food. Obviously some have been donated by companies here, which we are really grateful for that, and other part of the food going over has been bought by the fans of our actual event we did to fund up the freight. We were looking to actually pay for the freight, which in the end we didn't need to.
Because the government has agreed to cover that cost?
Yes, we have been contacted by Number 6, and yes, we're very glad to hear that they are going to pay for that. So what we actually did, use that money and got some more human aid materials, non-perishable foods, which I have to say. They are all non-perishable foods, and they should get to their destination without any problem.
In her traditional Christmas Day broadcast, the Queen recalled June's celebrations of the 60th anniversary of the day she was crowned Queen and paid tribute to the members of the armed forces who were not with their families at Christmas.
We also remember those who, through doing their duty, cannot be at home for Christmas, such as workers in essential or emergency services. And especially at this time of year, we think of the men and women serving overseas in our armed forces. We are forever grateful to all those who put themselves at risk to keep us safe.
The Queen also reflected on the birth of her great-grandson, Prince George. She said that the arrival of the baby gave everyone a chance to contemplate the future with renewed happiness and hope. This year's message was produced by the BBC and was shown on GBC and across the Commonwealth. The government has confirmed that an application by the Gibraltar International Bank for a banking licence has been submitted to the Financial Services Commission. The new retail bank will be located on Main Street and will fill the void left by Barclays. Last week, the government announced that it's given the go-ahead for a new retail bank for Gibraltar. The Chief Minister has now confirmed that an application has been filed with the regulator, an important first step in the licensing process. The government says it welcomes the public and private statements of support to the announcement of the launch of the Gibraltar International Bank, which is aimed to be fully operational by the third quarter of 2014. Minister for Financial Services Albert Isola said the process is now well on track to meet the ambitious targets they've set out for themselves. Now, the weather cleared up on Boxing Day, which saw hundreds of swimmers take part in polar bear swims at Catalan Bay and the Gassa Clubhouse. The swims see many groups raising funds for charity, including members of the emergency services and teachers.
After gale force winds and rain on Christmas Day, the skies cleared, and just in time for the polar bear swims. The event saw hundreds take part at Catalan Bay, with many groups wearing their wackier swimming suits whilst raising funds for charity.
There's a lot of children who have illnesses, especially illnesses that are difficult for children to handle, with cancer. I know this little girl has leukemia, and I'm a children's entertainer, so I love children. And anything that I can do for them and help their families, I'm doing. I do.
Yes, I've come all the way from Tor Point in Plymouth, all the way from the Cornish coastline. Let's check the water out, see if it's the same temperature.
What's wrong? The water's freezing.
And the Gassa Clubhouse held their swim at Eastern Beach this year.
And I've been longing to do it for a long time, but I'm afraid of water. Okay, I've got a phobia. But today I'm going to do it because I've had family illnesses and so on in the past and now, and I'm just dying to do it.
It's become a tradition now every year. I enjoy it every minute, and especially for the charity and, having fun.
A long-standing event now, it's having for a few years, but my late mother-in-law used to organise this years back, and because she had a bout of cancer, which obviously she didn't come out of very well, as we all know, we donate money to the Royal Marsden Cancer Society.
The swims followed a well-attended fun run organised by the Amateur Athletics Association and attended by those who were keen to burn off some of their Christmas calories, including the Governor, Sir James Dutton.
Well, I mean, I do a lot of running anyway, so I either run or exercise every day of the week, so this isn't unusual. I saw this advertised, it seemed like a good opportunity. I've done various Boxing Day runs in various places around the world before, so this was a good chance to have a bit of exercise after yesterday.
For more on this week's news, you can head over to our website, gbc.gi/news. And don't forget to, of course, tune into Radio Gibraltar and GBC Television throughout the week for the very latest local news. And you can follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Thank you very much for watching. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2014. Good night.